Good evening, everybody. As we can see in the overall market trend, that's all it is right now is a trend. We can see in the Dow that traded lower today, below the T-line. We're still in the trend channel. We're just not, at best, in a very strong uptrend. And I say at best because if you look at the NASDAQ, trading at closed at its all-time high today. So you got the NASDAQ moving up and the Dow heading down. Bob, make sure you've clicked on screen sharing at the top of your page. But the fact that you got the Dow heading down, the NASDAQ heading up, pretty much puts you in a situation where we know there's no major change of investor sentiment, so all we have to, or all we can assume, is that the existing trend is up, with specific sectors heading lower and other sectors heading higher. Before we go into those, take a look at some of our futures. We can see that crude oil is kind of just lollygagging in here, not doing too much of anything. Gold, August gold, got up through the 50. Now I'm guessing it will probably come back down and it'll test its 50 to see if it's going to act as support. Still short wheat. And we closed out the coffee trade today with our stop right here at the previous day's low. So again, not a very sophisticated or highly, what do I want to say? Highly sophisticated stop loss process. We just know that if we're in the overbought area, they shouldn't be trading back below the previous day's low. And did a little bit of shorting of August lean hogs, and probably will short it again if it opens weaker tomorrow. You can see how there's kind of a little support level as well as the 50. If it opens lower, we've got kind of a continuation of a bearish doji sandwich. Plus kind of a pennant formation with stochastic still heading down. They could break this and bring it either back down to this level right here or the 200-day moving average. Okay. The biggies, such as Labu, telling us we've got this fry pan bottom that just closed up above the recent high. That should be moving our biotechs up higher. And Tesla, after indecisive trading down here, now broke out to the upside. You can still be a buyer of Tesla on positive trading tomorrow. First target is this little gap right over here, which means at least you'd be heading in the right direction. Amazon, just a nice steady uptrend above the T-line. So this is one of the indicators that would tell you there's no major fear in the market. If the biggies are trading positive, there's Apple doing a little bit of a J-hook, Morningstar type signal off the 50. That the buyers are still around, and again, when the biggies that everybody's watching are still trading positive, that's a pretty good indication that there's no real great bearish fear factor out there right now. We can see on Netflix that we're still in the 45 degree ever since our gap up. NVIDIA right now is kind of the weak sister of all of them. Getting a little bit sluggish up here. Make this a little bit bigger. So if they open this lower, probably in the prospects of at least seeing if it's going to support on the T-line. On which one, John? Remember, it doesn't matter where your stochastics are. It's when you see sell signals and your stochastics. So if you're looking at something like Amazon, hey, your stochastics are in the overbought area, but you don't have any sell signal. It's when you start seeing the sell signals. Oh, I think NVIDIA was a bearish engulfing signal, wasn't it? Yes. Completely engulfed this one. Okay, so some of the ones that we've got that are working, well, that wasn't a fine howdy do. Didn't even bring that list. Over here. CBay, still in this upward trajectory, still acting well. DVAX, no. We will probably reiterate this one as a buy with the fry pan bottom, and notice where it closed right here at the top of this at the resistance level. If this opens positive tomorrow, you want to be buying. On CBay, probably. I mean, if you're buying it, you have to be a little bit more diligent because you're climbing back up. So the buy was right in this area, confirming the bullish engulfing signal, negating the profit-taking day. So the reason I say, yeah, you can be buying it, still has more upside, is I would be looking more for something that is just starting, something like this that would tell us on a positive open we're starting a wave 3 versus chasing after something that's already had its price move. So that's why it's important to learn what each signal tells us. We can see what the Morningstar signal is telling us here on Mazar. Had the fry pan bottom. Fry pan bottom. Now we're looking at the classic pattern. If it opens positive, now you've got a J-hook pattern after the initial strong move coming out of the fry pan bottom. Let's see, we CBay at Amazon. Pandora. I'd be ready to buy this one on positive trading. A little J-hook pattern. Next likely target is the 200. SPPI coming out of the fry pan bottom. There's no sell signals on this one. Lob. So these are just positions we've got right now. Lob has the scoop pattern in progress. Juno. You stay long on this one. Wave 1, wave 2. Notice your little left-right combo hammer type signal. Then a bullish doji sandwich. Expect wave 3 to at least test the $32 area. And then if it breaks through that area, got the same magnitude move as this right here. We're watching Hertz. Nice fry pan bottom, breakout, pulls back to the T-line. If this starts opening positive, where do you think the next target is? Up here at the 200. And BGC, Staying long on this one ever since it broke out of this wedge formation. You're still in the 45 degree. VRX hasn't broken out yet. This one, you definitely want to start seeing it open positive. You can see how it's coming to a point here in this wedge. It's going to move in the direction of how they open it tomorrow. If they open it and start trading lower, I'd close it out. Then just have my buy stop up here around 1790 or 1785. If it comes up through there, we know it's trading, trying to break out. Is two black crows? No. Those are just kind of doji, double doji setups, double doji consolidation. Two black crows would have been a dark candle, then they gap it up again above the open of that dark candle and create another dark candle. That's two dark crows. Let me see if there's any more. Oh, on the short side, we'll get to. We're still short IBM because of the kicker type signal after the dumpling top. Want to stay short on this one. And QCOM, bearish kicker signal, bearish doji sandwich, more downside. All right, some others that look good. This one has a very good chart pattern, this Chalmers. I'd be a buyer of this one on positive trading. You can see the classic fry pan bottom breakout, J-hook pattern. And why is this more compelling to be a J-hook pattern? Remember, Tim, where does a pattern work versus a signal? Notice how on the pullback, it was very indecisive trading dojis. Now they've told you decisively which way they're going to go. And CNAT, get ready to buy this one on positive trading. You can see the dojis, and then today the left-right combo. Yes, CC was also your best friend signal, doji gap up. Let's see, did Mazor, yep. Same kind of pattern on EG or EIG, GI. You can see the scoop pattern set up. Tells you if they open this positive, you want to be buying. Notice how it's got a flat handle, and then your morning star signal makes the scoop. KEM, there's your classic setting up, J-hook pattern setup, and Jinko, another. These are what you call double dojis. Notice how the pullback is very indecisive. And after the pullback's over, they tell you which way they're planning to go. So wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. MCRB. I was showing this one because last Friday people were saying, oh, should we get out of this? That's a dark or a bearish candle. Are they profit taking? Well, the answer is no. As long as you don't have a sell signal. Notice how you started up. Left-right combo. breakout with a doji sandwich. That just tells you the uptrend staying in progress. RYAM. There's your kicker signal. Another one that because of the kicker signal. Remember, your true kicker signal is a dark candle. The bigger the dark candle, the more compelling. Then they open it positive the next day and immediately start trading positive. So the kicker signal is more resilient, I guess, when you don't see any trading to the downside after it opened. It immediately starts going positive. Ron, are you still talking about CC? Is it too far away from the T line? Is that the one? Not really. Not that far away. And for those of you in the breakout session this weekend, now you watch this to see how they open this. Positive open, you can be buying this one and just use today's close as your stop. What else do we got here? Oh, GNCA. Another big gap up. Makes it very easy. If they open this positive, you can be buying. ACOR. You can pretty much tell what type of pattern. You got wave 1, wave 2, now going into wave 3. So you could be buying this one with the expectation that your next move would be the same magnitude as this move right here. Light. Bought some calls on light this afternoon because you could see the slow curve and they were breaking out through this level. Make this a little bit smaller, which means you could be heading into wave 3. And wave 3, that would be a good 15-point move to the upside. I'm having a hard time reading my own handwriting tonight. ARDX, you can see the fry pan bottom, the little cup and handle, and notice where it's doing it, right here at the 50. This one you can be buying with the expectation that they're coming back up to this level, which would be a good 3 points on a $5 stock, $6 stock, 2 points on a $6 stock, about a 35% upside. And then if it breaks out into this area, got some real big upside potential. That might be, I don't know if that's a new high on light or not. Guess we could find out. Looks to be that way, yes. IGT, another fry pan bottom that did kind of a little double doji breakout through the 50. There's a gap area up here that if it opens positive, you can be buying, and if it fails up here, at least you know you'd be coming back out with at least a break even or a little bit of a profit. And GLYC also has this big fry pan bottom coming off the 50. But the significance of this chart is if it moves back up here, it's about a 25% upside or a 15% upside. And if it moves back up into this area, you've got about a 35% upside potential. So it's got some good prospects if it starts moving to the upside. Blue is one of the big biotechs that's doing a cradle type pattern. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading. It's probably at least a option trade on this one. There's another J-hook pattern. Notice what it did today. A doji gap up through the resistance level. Pretty good indication that now wave 3 is starting. Pod. J-hook pattern. Same scenario. Notice how the strong candle went up through this level. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading also. And IBN, one of the foreign banks. Notice the bobble pattern. Where's your next likely target? At least probably coming up to fill the gap. So remember, the bobble pattern has a very high probability result. Exactly like what we saw over in Hertz when we started buying right in here because of the bobble pattern breakout. All right, some of the biggies or some of the big shorts. There's a kicker signal on Hasbro. This one, if it opens weaker, you can start shorting this one. At least we know the first target would probably be in here. Second target would be the 200-day moving average. Same thing of why we were shorting IBM, which was the kicker signal to the downside. MAN, another short. Doji, best friend gap down. Now, if this one opens lower, what's it telling you? It's telling you they're not holding at the 50. They're probably heading much lower. And SM, there's your bearish doji sandwich right here at the 50. Your next target could be here, number 1, or number 2, down here. Good 25-30% to the downside. Finish line, or I'm sorry, foot locker. You can kind of see the slow curve breakdown. Another one that could be heading back down into the bearish trend channel. And ANF. So I'm showing the shorts, even though we think the market is heading up. Bearish J-hook setting up on Abercrombie. That could have another significant move to the downside. So obviously the retailers right now can be shorted and the biotechs can be bought. So if you're looking at overall direction of the market, which is a slow uptrend, some sectors are selling off. So just for protection, you have a few short positions in the portfolio. And just slightly heavier on the long side. Again, with the orientation of your portfolio in some of the sectors, a couple of people asked not too long ago, if you're buying 3 biotechs, isn't that a little bit heavy in a portfolio if you've only got 10 positions? And the answer is no. If you're only going to be holding them for maybe 2 to 10 trading days, yeah, you go with the ones that are acting strong right now. No, Steve. You see anything that would tell you the indexes are getting tired? Matter of fact, you've actually had come up to recent highs and gapped through them. That's definitely not a sign that that they're getting tired. Now, is it showing there's on the Dow? Yes, but you got the Nasdaq heading higher and the Dow heading lower. What's that telling you? There's still sectors that are heading up and there's still sectors that are heading down. It's not the overall market showing any major reversal. Okay. Any general questions? I guess we went through fairly quickly tonight, but that was just still more of an indication or that there are good trades out there, and we only need 3, 5, 7, 8 good trades to look at, which are more than that on the bullish side, or maybe 3, 4 on the bearish side. So if you're like me, if I've got 10 positions on, maybe I've only closed out 1 or 2 at any given time. Means I'm only looking for 1 or 2 positions to add back on. Google with a gap down, I think it was trading right in this range after the close. I think that's where it was. You have to see what they do with it after they open it. See if they start bringing it back up. Now, from what I saw, they beat on their earnings and they beat on their revenue. So can't figure out why they dumped. Now, after hours, it showed they traded 300,000 shares. That was after a day where they traded 2.8 million in the market. So you definitely want to see how it opens. I've been in this position before where I own a stock that is still above the T-line, 3T line, in case it seems to be heading for a gap down at the open. So I sell immediately or 5 minutes upon the open, only to find the stock bouncing back the next day. Can you please review again how we should handle, whoops, NVAX. Well, if they gap it down, I think there was news that whatever they got something approved, I would think that would open the stock much higher. Is it showing where they're trading it? I know after hours they didn't show where it was trading it. It was down. All right, well, whatever they got approved, it doesn't make sense. I'd still wait to see how it opens. But if they have gapped it down after that type of indecisive trading, I'd close it out. Because if it opens up down in here, you don't have very much of a chart to look at. Oh, because of the earnings fine on Google. All right. No, John. If I've decided I'm going to allocate 10 positions to my portfolio, and whatever figure, let's say a $200,000 portfolio, that means each position is going to be 20,000. But I want to trade some options, or I want to trade some fun little trades like a $1.10 stock or a 75-cent stock, something that I wouldn't normally be trading. I may just say, all right, 9 of my positions are going to be $20,000 stock positions. And one $20,000 unit is going to be my option trading and the fun little stock. So it might be that I've got 9 positions on, and I've got 3 $5,000 option positions on, and then maybe $5,000 trading something little just to play around. Now, so that means I might have 12 positions. It also could mean that I own a stock position and I've also bought options again. So I'm only looking at 10 or 12 positions. Now, once you get used to candlestick charts, you can analyze 10 or 12 positions in probably a minute, minute and a half each afternoon. So it's not like you're having to spend a lot of time analyzing a bunch of stocks. So, but I still keep everything. Let's say I'm going to put option positions on. The allocation of those options may be only $5,000 per trade. The reason I want to keep everything an equal dollar amount is so that I don't let my emotions get involved by saying, oh, this is my favorite one, or I really like this one, and I think I can analyze this one better than anything else. Now I've got my emotions in it versus just buying a unit of position, or positions, it's just one unit. EVA, depending on who you use, even something like TCNet that's not on a live scanning, it's a 20-minute delayed. After maybe 30 minutes after the market opens, you refresh it and do another scan to see which ones are up the biggest percent move that day. And more than likely, you're going to find the ones that have gapped up. If SGMS, if it opens positive within the first 10 minutes and you buy it, and then it trades back down below the day's close, do you close it or do you wait a bit longer? No, I'll usually close it because we did the probabilities that if it closes lower the second day after a big price move, the probabilities are that you stay out of it until it comes back up through the close of the first day. When a stock comes up to test a resistance level, trend, moving average, etc., is there any significance to whether it closes slightly above or just below the resistance? Depending on the magnitude of the move, RT, if you see something gap up, I'm trying to think of which ones. Well, even when you look at something like DVAX, it came right up to a resistance level with a strong candle. Now, the obvious. If you're a buyer and you know that that's a potential resistance level and you're still buying at that level, that tells you you don't have too much regard for this being a resistance level anymore, that it's probably going to move higher. If I see something gap up, and I'm trying to think of which ones that might have been. Can't think of any right offhand, but let's say, for example, this gapped up and closed up here. Same scenario. If they're gapping it up, knowing that there's a resistance level right there, that means they're probably going to have very little regard for that resistance level. All right. I guess with that, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And in 2.8 seconds, do the next double line. That's a live cattle, yes. Did it actually close down the limit? I think this is the August live cattle. It was down 220. So I'm looking at shorting either live cattle or lean hogs on weakness tomorrow. Jason, I would say probably about 25-30% of my trades that I put on, I'll come out very quickly, meaning that day or early the next day. But when I do that, most of the time it's because it's a insignificant loss, but it's going in the wrong direction. So it's the old adage that you cut your losses short and let your profits run, so that when something does hit, that you're making big profits off of it. Let's see, Italian Telecom. So there's something that doji gap up and it's heading right here. If they're gapping up toward that resistance level, that means they probably don't have very much regard for that resistance level. Jazz, slow curve, breaking out through this level. Again, notice how they came right up to it and then traded positive. I would stay long on this one. NTNX hit the 200 apparently, coming back to test the T-line. So I'd be a buyer on, you might have, this is a good example of when they go up and they're in the overbought area and you see a sell signal like a dark cloud right smack dab at a resistance level like the 200. If it opens lower, take your profits. More than likely it's coming back down to test the T-line. MKC, these are the type where you only can expect a bounce to see what happens once it gets back up to the T-line. Once it gets there, you have to see what it does. If it trades lower, you close out any long position that you might have picked up. ARDX, that's a good-looking chart. That one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow. NVGS, you can get ready to buy this one. I would pay, let's see, the high today was 1070. I'd put a buy stop at 1075. If it comes up through that direction, it's telling you that the J-hook pattern's in progress. Here's another one with a bearish engulfing signal. Came right down smack dab to the T-line. Now you see whether that's going to be the support level. If it trades positive, you can be buying it. If your opens positive, and this was the candle that told you the bulls are taking control again, where don't you want to see it close? Definitely below, you shouldn't close below the halfway point of that candle. And HZ, nothing to do here except stay long. You can see how your bobble breakout continued the uptrend. Twitter, another gap up through the resistance level. And this is where you should have stopped out. Just a very, very simple rule. And this will save you lots of profits. That if you're in the overbought area, they shouldn't trade it back below the open. As soon as it gapped down, that should have been your alert to get a stop here right away. Because that gap down from the previous day's close in the overbought area is telling you there's now been a change of investor sentiment. Get ready to stop out. ARNA, J-hook pattern. You can be buying this one on positive trading. VIAV, kicker type signal, broke through this downtrending channel. You stay long on this one. ABEO has to open positive and staying above the T-line tomorrow. Weibo, that's a good-looking little chart. You can be buying this one. You've broken this downward trend channel. You're staying above the T-line. Now you definitely want to see this keep moving up, staying above the T-line. Teradyne. You stay long on this, but observe the obvious. You're right here at the resistance level. Overbought. Have your stop at today's open. It shouldn't come back down through that level. And XCO, make sure your volume is good. Big bullish engulfing. If it trades flat tomorrow, I'd close it out and then just put a buy stop up here somewhere. I'd rather not sit with it, not knowing whether it was going up, down, or sideways. I'd rather buy it as it's coming, showing that they're taking it positive. And we did this one, GLYC. You can stay long on this one because of the percentage move to the upside. Logi, just stay long. And UCO. UCO, well, this is the crude oil, the bearish crude oil. Yeah, you got to see what crude oil, this is the bearish one, isn't it? No, this is the bullish one. Right now, I wouldn't be long or short crude oil on a trade basis, meaning if I was going to short crude oil, it's got to be back down through here. Now, crude oil, oh, I can't remember what it did. Oh, I can look. Yes, this is what crude oil did. Failed here the second time. So was looking to short it, but it started trading. It was by the time market opened, it was already trading up here. I'd still be ready to short this if it came back down through today's open. AMD stayed long through all this. Watch to see if it can break out through there because that makes the top of the channel your next likely target. CHL, as long as it stays above the 50, the kicker signal, you can stay long. If you're looking to go long, buy it if it comes back up through yesterday or Friday's close. ABC, you can be buying this one. Not going to make a whole lot of money with it, but it's heading in the right direction. And this one you can get ready to buy after the bounce off the 50. If it starts trading positive, you can be buying it using the T-line as your stop. J-hook pattern in progress. EMKR, you just stay long on this one as long as it stays above the T-line. And TCCO, nothing. You shouldn't be in this one. Same scenario up here. Look how far away you were moved from the T-line. That's where you should have kicked to your 10-minute chart. Worst case scenario, your stop should have been down here. It shouldn't have come back through the low of that day. Macy's doesn't look good. If it opens lower, you can, I wouldn't be long. I may not be short Macy's. There's better places to be short. It just wouldn't be long at that point. And Zenga, another one that has to get open positive. If it opens lower, you're stuck in here. I'd be out of it, and then I'd just wait for it to come back up through this level. Gold, still moving up slowly. Specs, nothing here. You've got a bullish engulfing. If you're real aggressive, you buy it on positive trading tomorrow, but then you definitely watch to see what it does once it gets to the T-line. Another one you can be buying. You just have to be aware that you've got this downtrend that it has to break through. Apple, you can go long on positive trading. Little J-hook pattern. And VRTX in a 45 degree. Again, there was our message, and then this told us the profit taking was over. This told us there was the message that somebody was trying to get into this one with great resiliency. When you stay long as this stays above the T-line, hoping that it will break out through this level. And CTRL, it has to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. If it opens lower, you've lost everything or lost trajectory, but then you can get right back in it if it comes back up through the T-line. JB, I still wouldn't be long or short this one. Just nothing there. NVIDIA is losing a little bit of energy, but still above the T-line. So you definitely want to make sure it doesn't close below the T-line so that the uptrend continues. And fire eye. Fire eye, nothing exciting right now. I'd more apt to be buying it if it came up through the 1650 level, telling you they broke out. We did SPPI, just stay long, nice J-hook pattern. Oh, the target, I would suggest they are kind of anticipate the same magnitude as that move right there, which looks like to be from 5.5 to 7.5. Probably takes you up into about the $9.50 area. Okay, still some good charts. Yeah, CC will probably be recommended tomorrow. We've got the J-hook pattern starting off with a best friend signal bouncing off the 50, off the T-line. Okay, we're done early tonight. That'll give everybody time to go do something. All right, everybody, have a good evening. We will see you bright and early in the morning. We'll see you then.